Hello everyone and welcome to the Good Old Gamer. So the 6600 XT is launched. It's a little bit faster than we were expecting, so that's good. It helps justify the price a little bit, but honestly, if we take a step back, 10 months after the launch of RDNA 2, the lowest price card that we have is still $379 MSRP, which you can't buy for at that price anyway. So yeah, the competition's $329, which is slightly better, but things just really aren't looking that great for what used to be considered the mainstream GPU market. According to AMD themselves, that is the $100 to $300 market, where nobody is supplying graphics cards. So this whole situation has got me thinking here over the past month or so, just thinking about the current situation. Do we really need this stuff? I mean, honestly, do we? I mean, is it worth investing all this money in technology that's slightly better than last generation at the same price, or basically the same? Or can we get away with older stuff? And the focus that I keep going into is software. The key here is software. So that's what I want to be talking with you guys here today, kind of my thought process on the market, the situation, and probably the best way for us as individuals to tackle that market. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. But speaking of software, are you in need of a Windows 10 key for your new PC build? Well, today's sponsor, CDK Deals, has the deal for you. They offer great prices on games, software, and of course, Windows 10 keys. Just search for Windows 10 and you get an awesome price on this Windows 10 key. And for a limited time, you can get an even better deal by typing in GOG25 in the promo code for 25% off. Checkout is super easy with secure payments with credit card or even PayPal to make things as simple as possible. After payment is complete, all you have to do is just click on your key, click the Get Key button. There you go. You can also check your email for your brand new key. Now, to activate Windows 10, all you have to do is go to search, type in activation settings, and go ahead and change key. And that's it. It's that simple. So now's the time to take advantage of this exclusive offer and get that extra 25% off by clicking the links down below and using GOG25 as the promo code. Now back to the video. All right, so to me, the big issue that I think a lot of us that just really focus in on PC tech, especially gaming tech, usually comes down to graphics cards and CPUs, of course, is we focus on graphs. And graphs are just empirical data. It is what it is, and, bigger graph means better, right? I mean, it's just the way that it goes. It's very easy for people to wrap their minds around. I want to see the thing with the biggest graph. Sure, and that is useful in some circumstances, but we're getting to the point, and I mean, I make it a lot. Can you really see the difference between 105 FPS or 100 FPS? Not really. Most people can't. So we're kind of getting to that point where the returns are, yes, the graph might be bigger, but does it really matter? And I just think that siloed mentality that a lot of PC enthusiasts have, basically ignoring what the hardware is intended to do, which this channel focuses solely on the gaming aspect of that. All the other aspects out there, I don't care. If you make money off the thing, it's a different story. But, for people that this is a luxury item, we really have to take a look at the software itself, and that's what I'm going to be starting to do with the channel here moving forward. I'm building up some test benches, starting to get some GPUs in. Obviously, it's very difficult right now because I'm not going to pay stupid prices. Paul from Not an Apple Fan, super nice. He sold me a 6700 XT at a very reasonable price. I can now use that for CPU testing. And one of the videos that I'm going to be doing here shortly, this is kind of a tease, but I'm going to be taking a look at the old Core i5 2500K. Now, we know from Steve from Hardware Unboxed, he figured out there's about 25 to 30% extra performance when using an AMD GPU. So typically when I recommend a 4-core 8-thread CPU as baseline, that's based off of NVIDIA GPUs. And what does the extra hyperthreading get you? About 20 to 25% performance. So I'm very interested to see if the i5 2500K can actually run modern games 60 or 120 FPS, depending on the title. We'll go over that in that video. So we're going to be checking that out here in the future. Now, if you think about it, if a 2500K can run modern games well, I don't know if it can. I haven't run the test yet. I don't have the 6700 XT. But if it can, that means basically any CPU that's faster than that is also good. So that will let you guys know, hey, you don't really need to worry about your CPU. And in the future, I'll test newer games as they come out. And then, once I say, well, this is no longer good enough, you're going to want to get, something else, maybe like a Ryzen 1600 or something. That's another test bench that I'm looking to put together. At that point in time, then you may need to upgrade. But until we get there, it might not be worth it to you. And you can stick with what you have. So I think that type of content's going to be more useful. Another thing that I'm very interested in is Linux gaming. You guys know I bring it up a lot. I'm very interested in that. So what I'm thinking I'm just going to do is just test some random games on Linux just to see if they work, especially with things like the Steam Deck coming out, see how Proton works, see how GOG works over on Linux. I've tested a few games and most of them ran well. But, as time goes on, we'll start testing more obscure stuff, and I guarantee you I'm going to hit the wall on a few games. And then I'm going to reach out to you guys in the community, and maybe we can get those games up and running. So for anybody out there not wanting to move over to Windows 11, Linux might be a very good option for you, especially if there's, a community and resources for you to get the things that you want up and running on that software. So I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with Linux. That's where all of these test benches are also going to come into play. And then interestingly enough, one of the best videos on my channel was I just did this quick video how to get Fallout 3, the Steam version, up and running. And over the years, it's just continued to get views and get views. There's a lot of people out there that need help getting their software up and running. And it's obviously a community that's being ignored because this video is done very well. I've had to update the links in there a few times because Microsoft changed things. I think it should be good now, but regardless, just videos like that to actually get gamers into games. Instead of focusing on things that don't matter, like 10 extra FPS, that is an irrelevant thing. What actually matters is the software. Is the software good? Can it run the software? And figuring out what makes the most sense for the most people. Now, if you're one of those people that are like, I want to run uncapped frame rates, I want, 240 FPS in all my games, or 4K 120 in all my games, or whatever. Yeah, if you're pushing performance to spots that don't really make any sense, obviously this content's not going to be super helpful for you moving forward. But I'd say for the vast majority of you guys out there that are like, I don't want to be a part of this market. I don't want to overspend on things. I just want to know what will do the thing that I want it to do. That's more what I'm going to be focusing on moving forward. Basically just finding the solutions. What's the minimums that we really need to do the thing? So like for a game like Cyberpunk, a lot of people will test GPUs and you kind of see what GPU you need. But, maybe you can get away with a old Core i7 CPU or something. I don't know. It's also going to be interesting to see. I would like to get an RTX 3070 as well, just to see what that driver overhead really looks like on some of these games. Eventually down the road, I'll go ahead and get some more GPUs when they're more reasonably priced. But until the market kind of corrects itself, we're going to have to just kind of make do with what we have. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm kind of over the whole rat race and hype train thing. Get hype for new product costs too much, bitch about new product costing too much. People still buy new product anyway. Next generation comes around, performance goes up a little bit. That's good. Prices go up. Bitch about that. That's just the cycle. I can't control what people do in the market, but I can show people what they don't need to be spending their money on. So instead of just talking about it, I want to literally show people this is what you can get away with. So for example, if you're like, I just want to know what it takes to run this game. Let's just use Cyberpunk 2077. It's a difficult game to run. I just want to run it at 1080p, a solid 60 FPS. I want to know what's the bare minimum it takes to get there. That's more what we're going to be looking at. So the GPUs I have on hand, I've got an RX 570 4 gig, I've got an RX 580 8 gig on the way, and then the 6700 XT 12 gig. The GPUs that I'm really looking to pick up, 1066 gig, 1070, I'd like that, 1080 Ti. So a lot of Pascal cards, because a lot of people are going to be holding on to those for a long time. And being able to show whether or not they still work in newer games would be helpful. RTX 2060 I'm looking to get. I'll probably get a 2070 Super and a 5700 XT for that generation as time goes on. 5600 XT, I was actually in the talks of getting one with one of my patrons, but honestly, it's just a GPU that not many people have. So I don't know how useful that would be in benchmarks, like how many people that would actually help. So to me, I don't think that that's really the way to go. But the reason why I'm listing these off is I want to get your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think that that's going to be more beneficial to the community? Instead of me just trying to bash people over the head going, this is a stupid price, this is what you should be getting at this performance and this dollar and all that sort of stuff, that seems to not be having an effect. Instead, showing what people can get away with more minimalistic hardware, maybe that will curb people's urge to just splurge ridiculous amounts of money on things when they're like, well, I don't need this. Chris just showed that this and this and this makes this game do what I want it to do. And I have a better CPU than he used, and my GPU is just a little bit worse, so I'll just trim down settings, like that kind of stuff. Like I said, before the 6600 XT came out, I said if this thing's over 350 plus, like I said, the performance is a little bit better than we were anticipating, but even still, at $379, it just lets me know that the old mainstream GPU market's kind of gone. And I think for a lot of people out there looking for value and just want to play games at reasonable prices with reasonable performance, I think that the best way moving forward is just to show people what they can do with limited hardware. But once again, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you like videos like this, please smash that like button. Please subscribe. Please share with friends. That really does help me out. That's really all I have for you guys here today. Catch you guys in the next video.